यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्. From prostration, starting with prostrations before Mother Sharadamba, Shri Mahasannidhanam and Shri Shri Sannidhanam of Sringeri Matha, whom all of us revere, I have great joy in sharing some thoughts on Sakshi Chaitanya. Chaitanya means consciousness. Sakshi means the witness that is utterly uninvolved. The witness does not lose or gain anything from what it witnesses, or in mundane context, a witness is one who sees everything but does not take any side. He is or she is impartial. But here, referring to pure consciousness, Shuddha Chaitanya, we call it Sakshi. The Upanishads have sung the glory of this consciousness principle, and numerous Prakarana Granthas like Viveka Chudamani have also gone to great length to talk about the supremacy of this pure consciousness, which is the witness of all. Tat Chaitanyam sa Sakshi cha. Sakshi is literally one who has everything before one's aksha, one's eyes. And in a larger sense, it's not what we see with eyes only, what we hear, what we touch, what we smell, what we taste, and even on the mental plane, the feelings that are known, the thoughts that are known. In other words, wherever there is knowing of any kind, there is a knower. Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the 13th chapter of the Gita says, this entire universe is basically to be looked at as consisting of the field of the known, the field called Kshetra, and there is the principle that knows. We may call that Kshetrajna. And right away in the second shloka of that Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, the 13th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna makes a certain statement which can make anybody's eyebrows go up. He says, in all the fields, anywhere, everywhere, anytime, every time, in all the fields of the known, I am the one mover. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetra kshetrajna yojnanam yatta jnanam matam mama. He praises the wisdom of clearly seeing the knowing principle and putting all that is known to its right place. And in the Advaita Vedanta, the right place for all that is known, Neya or Drishya and so on, is actually nothing. The known really is discovered to be nothing but the knower only. In other words, Chit alone remains, as the truth can never be negated. Whatever is known, that is eventually through sadhana, through greater inquiry, through total clarity on the Vedanta Vakyas, what is known is reduced to mere appearance. If there were to be both knower and the known independently or even with some dependence between them, let's say both of them exist, then why do we talk about Advaita? That would be Advaita Hani. Therefore, as I will come to it later, and very interestingly, in modern physics, which is in its advanced form called the quantum physics, the same issue is coming up. Though the scientists are not very sure, they are proposing numerous theories, but some of the theories that they are proposing have the distinct flavor, the distinct fragrance, if you like to say, of Advaita Vedanta. I will come to it a little later, but for now, let us see how this idea of the witnessing consciousness, the drashta, the seer, is taken up in Vedanta, in the Upanishads. We have in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in the 4th chapter, King Janaka asking sage Yajnavalkya, in this entire creation, in our own existence for that matter, what truly is light? Kim Jyotihi, what is light? Therefore, a certain section of that 4th chapter, which goes into great length, throwing light, I'm saying using the figurative expression, throwing light on what is truly the light. Before what truly is light, all these other forms of light, sun or moon, electric lamps or lightning or fire, all of them go to the background. They recede to secondary importance, if not no importance. Therefore, in the Gita also you have an expression in that very 13th chapter, Bhagavan Shri Krishna saying, Jyotishamati tajyotihi tamasah paramuchyate jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishpitam. This light is in the heart of every one of us. It is the light of all lights. Coming back to Shukla Yajurveda's Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, great sage Yajnavalkya replies to King Janaka that, well, you are asking me what light is. Let me tell you, to see things, to know there is a pot at a distance, to see there is a cat near me. The eyes, it is through eyes that we see. Therefore, eyes are there. Janaka doesn't get satisfied. When eyes do not work, when eyes are closed, let us say, or somebody is blind, what is light? Then I say Yajnavalkya takes the whole matter deeper and deeper. It is mind, it is sound, it is, of course, sun, moon, many things he says. And towards the end, goaded by King Janaka to delve deeper into the matter, Yajnavalkya says, Atma eva tatra jyoti. Atma means the inmost truth of the existence of every one of us. On the bodily level, even on the mind's level or the intellect's level, in terms of our qualification, in terms of our talent and skill and knowledge, we have differences. But all of them are secondary in our existence as per the Vedanta. We are primarily the truth of pure consciousness. In our profile, in our biodata, we say about this speaker, it was rightly said about his journey of life. I was born in Kundapura in Udupi district in Karnataka. And presently I do not live in Mumbai anymore. I have started an ashram called Jnana Shakti in Maharashtra. And three hours drive, less than 3 hours drive from Mumbai. Or it is same, less than 3 hours drive from Pune also. But lots of such things we talk about ourselves, who we are, what we are doing, and about others, who they are, what they are doing. All surface truth. Beneath the surface, you and I, every one of us here, somebody born in South India or somebody born in South Africa, somebody born in Manipur or somebody born in Timbuktu in Africa, all are that one pure consciousness. And that pure consciousness is Atma, or Atma is the pure consciousness. This dialogue between Janaka and Yajnavalkya was later put into a single shloka attributed to none else than Adi Shankaracharya. And there, without mentioning the name of a teacher or a student, the single shloka called Eka Shloki begins with the question Janaka had asked Yajnavalkya, Kim Jyotihi, what is light in life, in this universe? And the answer is, well, during the day it is the sun, during night it is the moon. All right, how do you see the sun or the moon? Oh, that is simple. We see, we know the sun, we know the moon through eyes, chakshuhu. Oh, how do we know the eyes are closed or open? Chakshushaha nimilana unnilana samaye. How is it known? Oh, we have something called the mind, or call it intellect. The Antakarana knows, my eyes are closed now, my eyes are open now. The Guru in that Eka Shloki says, how do you know this thought? I know is a thought. I don't know is another thought. The Shishya, a very intelligent one, surely he or she has studied Vedas, Vedanta. He or he has spent a long time in a sustained manner, even going into allied subjects like logic or Sankhya or yoga and so on. But finally paying full attention to Vedanta, the wisdom of the Upanishads, this student is able to go inward so beautifully, and finally he says, well, you are asking in what light I am able to know my thoughts, my dhihi, my buddhi. Well, it is I, ahameva. I am of certain nature, and by nature or naturally I know thoughts, emotions, and so on. And that is put in a beautiful shloka. Let me sing that for you. किं ज्योतिर्भानुमानहनिमे रात्रौ प्रदीपादिकम् या देवं रविदीपदर्शनविधौ किं ज्योतिराख्याहि मे चक्षुस्तस्य निमीलनादिसमये किं धियो दर्शने तत्रैवाहम् अतो भवान् परमकं ज्योतिः. The Shishya finally says, Tadasmi Prabho. Tatraivahamato bhavan paramakam jyotihi. Tadasmi Prabho. This Tadasmi Prabho is like a disciple going through the discipline of Vedanta teaching finally exclaims, Aham Brahmasmi. Jyotihi Tadasmi Prabho. So all this is not to be taken as a play of words. Please do not take Vedanta as wonderful imagination, wonderful guessing and wonderful coming together of picturesque words and beautiful illustrations and I say, Vedanta is perhaps a very good time pass for people. Please, for heaven's sake, don't jump to such a conclusion. On the contrary, Vedanta requires exercising our buddhi, our viveka, our intellect very, very intelligently. Then only truth is known. It is not some kind of escape. Well, many people may make Vedanta also as an escape for them. Then they will not come to know the truth. Not to go headlong into Vedanta, making it your primary concern. Take your time, but one day you will have to, as they say, hold the bull with its two horns. Hold the bull with the two horns and handle it. So, this Sakshi Chaitanya, the witnessing consciousness, is referred to in the Upanishads. The most well-known Upanishad mantra or sentence is from the Taittiriya Upanishad, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam there is no other than Sat, pure existence, unqualified existence. By saying unqualified, we mean it's not existence as a tree or as a hill, not existence as a bird or as a woman. Okay, I am a little closer now. More than this will be difficult. Is it better now? Okay, thank you. Oh, next time we can do that. But right now I don't have access to any headphone here. I will keep my mouth very close to the microphone of my laptop. Let's hope for the best. So, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This is popularly referred to as Sat Chit Ananda. And let us focus on Chit. In his commentary, Adi Shankaracharya clarifies that what is called Jnanam, in Hindi, in North India, they call it Jnana, Jnana Swarup. So call it Jnana, call it Jnana. We should not make much of an issue of languages. In South, we say Ravindra. In Bengal and Orissa, they call it Robindra. Both are equally nice, equally good, equally beautiful. So, Gyan or Jnanam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. In Manisha Panchakam, a very beautiful poetic work throwing light on Atma or Brahma, the word used is samvit. With itself means with or with is to know. Samvit means the truth which knows everything, which at the same time does not get affected by anything. Samvit mayaha pavakaha. It is certain fire of the nature of pure consciousness. Closer you are to this pure consciousness in yourself, it acts like that knowledge, that being near, acts like a fire that burns all your impurities. Therefore, though at places we say, do karma yoga first, gain chitta shuddhi, then attempt Vedanta vichara, that is true. However, at times when you are sattvic, a certain glimpse of your true nature, a certain beautiful understanding. Now I realize, now I understand how I am primarily consciousness, Sakshi Chaitanya, and secondarily this body and so on. A glimpse of that can give such a deadly blow to our vasanas, our negative tendencies, our grief, our anxiety, and all this. The lakshanas of jiva get attenuated, they become less and less. More we reflect on the Brahma. So, this jnana, Shankaracharya clarifies, is napti matram. Napti. Napti matram means it is the knowing principle itself. Please do not associate any particular object. When we say the pure self is of the nature of consciousness, it's a nature of knowledge, don't ask, is it knowledge of Hindi or Telugu? Is it knowledge of chemistry or economics? Well, all of them come and go. There's no problem what objects come before the knowing principle. But the pure knowing principle, without any dependence on any particular object of knowledge, is Chit. Now, Upanishad, we already said, has Sri Yajnavalkya elaborating on that pure self, Atma eva Jyoti. Everything else is light in a lesser sense, but in the most important primary sense, therefore we already called it the light of all lights, it is Atma eva, our own true nature. Then he makes a series of statements, which is a pleasure to read. I should say that these Upanishads have their own poetry, their own beauty. Of course, we already cautioned nobody, no student of Vedanta should get carried away by the linguistic beauty of Upanishads, but all the same, it is good to know that greatest truth with or without linguistic beauty, sets us free, but how nice that truth is conveyed in beautiful poet or poem looking or looking like poetry. Yajnavalkya says, if you think of this as the seer, the ultimate seer, O King Janaka, no matter what happens, the seeing never takes a break. There is a series of mantras which says, Nahi drashtur drishter vipariloko vidyate. Nahi shrotuho shrutehe vipariloko vidyate. And so on. A long, some more than 10 mantras talking about, let me give one or two samples. Yadvaitanna pashyati, pashyanvaitanna pashyati, nahi drashtur drishter vipariloko vidyate, avinashitvat. This knowing principle is avinashi. It doesn't die at all. Natu tad dvitiyamasti. There is really nothing other than it, nothing second to it. Natu tad dvitiyamasti tatah anyad vibhaktam yad pashyed. If there were to be something other than that, then one could see the division. In that awakened state, there is no division whatsoever. And as we also clarified before, it is not limited to seeing with eyes, something like seeing with eyes, whether it is seeing or hearing or smelling, in all forms of knowing. Therefore, next mantra goes, Yadvai tanna jigrati. Jigrati means to smell. One smells a rose. One smells something fragrant or something foul smelling. Yadvai tanna jigrati. Jigranvai tanna jigrati. Nahi gratur grater vipariloko vidyate. Earlier it was said, Nahi drashtur drishter vipariloko vidyate. Here nahi ghratur ghrater viparilopo vidyate. Next is nahi rasayatehe rasayituhu rasayatehe viparilopo vidyate. In the matter of tasting, it's like this, as simple as like this. For a first level appreciation, you are holding your eyes open, you are seeing birds flying in the sky. And after a couple of minutes, suppose there are no birds flying in the sky. Because there are no birds, don't say I have gone blind. You are not blind. You are seeing. When birds come in the air, you see them. If there are no birds, you don't see anything. Though we say you don't see anything, you are not blind. Therefore, the confirmed and established position of Advaita Vedanta Siddhanta is this light of consciousness never takes a break, even for a nanosecond, even for a picosecond. There is no question of, for a short while, our pure consciousness went on leave. No, that's not possible. So we continue this witnessing consciousness, which sees all, I must add this, which is not seen by anyone. It sees everything when something is in front of it. In that scenario, in the awakening to non-dual truth, this being the seer and something being in front of it is negated. What appears as the object is discovered to be no object at all. We'll come to that in the context of just a little physics too. But I must now say, one of the Prakarana Granthas, the title of which itself is Drishya Viveka, the discrimination, the distinguishing between the seer and the seen. It begins with a bang. Rupam drishyam lochanam drik tadrishyam draktu manasam drishya dhi vrittaya sakshi drigevanatu drishyate. The first verse says, forms. If you want, forms and colors are the object of seeing, and eyes are the subject. In an object-subject relationship, karma and kartru relationship. Rupam drishyam, lochanam drik, tad drishyam. The eyes themselves are known, and drik, the seer over there, is manasam, mind. As it came in the Ekashloki also, the mind knows whether one's eyes are open or closed. And mind is made of thoughts. The Sanskrit word for thought is vritti. Drishyaha dhi vrittayaha. All thoughts. Good thoughts, bad thoughts, self-appreciative thoughts, self-condemning thoughts. When you look down at yourself, when your self-worth goes down, or some other day you are enjoying a great sense of self-worth, it's all the play of your mind. Even as thought dances and takes various postures, the pure consciousness, watching everything. Please know that the practical significance of Vedanta study, especially as you gain greater clarity, is you will have an incredible capacity to pull yourself out from any negative self-judgment. No loss, no death, no disease, no insult anywhere, no unpleasant situation anywhere can make you feel, oh, what a wretched person I am. I am so bad. I don't deserve to be on the earth. Why am I living? These negative thoughts come because you don't know anything beyond your mind. And all this noise is created by the mind. Vedanta Viveka says, all dhi vrittaya, all thoughts and emotions in the Anthakarana are drishya. They are what is seen. Somebody goes to the blackboard and writes in big bold letters, "You are a fool." And you watch it. Oh, oh, see what is written on the blackboard? That blackboard says, "I am a fool." If you cry, why should you cry? Because it is written like that. After 5 minutes, the same lady may come and write, "You are wonderful." Why should you depend on what is written on the blackboard? Blackboard saying you are wonderful should not make you rise in happiness. The blackboard saying you are a fool should not make you sink in despair. You are neither a fool nor wonderful. You are beautiful, wonderful, great by just your nature. Not because you have wealth or talent, not because you enjoy good health or some name and fame. All of them are still show. Drishtya dhivrittaya sakshi. In the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna dazzles and says, when you have self-knowledge, when you have Atma-jnana, even if your body, not just body, even if your mind goes into tamas, you are at peace with it. Generally, we sadhaks, we spiritual seekers, spiritual practitioners feel very good when one day our mind is sattvic. Today, I'm so sattvic. Noble thoughts are coming to me. And another day, rajas is in full form. We are scared. What will happen now? Rajas is driving me. Some other day when tamas is in the mind, we feel looks like I have lost the game. Now I have no hope in this life. I am finished. No. The Gunatita, as per Sri Krishna, is at peace with Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Any of them come, even as I said, Tamas comes, the one with Atma-jnana, let him say, "Oh Tamas, go, don't be here, I don't like you." No. Tamas also is given a warm welcome. Stay as long as you like. Go when you want to go. Agate swagatam turyat gachantam na nivarayet. That's the saying. Therefore, here is this drishtyaha dhivrittayaha. Sakshi, the word from today's title comes here. Sakshi drigeva. The Sakshi Chaitanya, the pure witness in consciousness we are talking about, is drik eva. It never becomes drishya. The buck stops there. Some critics of Advaita Vedanta think that we are too much into logic and it's a never-ending logic and it goes on and we are just into mere intellectualism. Their improper, inadequate, misguided study of Advaita Vedanta which makes them say so. But actually, in a few steps, Advaita Vedanta takes us to the adhisthana, the base, the foundation of all appearances. Like the very first sloka of Dhruvdasya puts it, Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Dhruv Tadrishyam Dhruv Manasa Drishya Divrittaya Sakshi Dhrugeva Sakshi Dhruk Eva Nati Drishyate. Here are 4 steps. You are got to appreciate there is something in you which never becomes object. Now, this seer-seen duality, this dvaita, which seems to be our belief when we are seekers. On one hand, we perceive duality between others and ourselves. Somebody is rich, we are poor. Somebody is illiterate, we have MSc bottom. Somebody is in a little village, we are citizens of a very big, prosperous, dazzling, glittering city. I live in such and such. Like that. The duality. Moment you divide, moment you show a line of difference, then there is duality. So, How come this duality can ever end? Not only in the Advaita Vedanta is the forerunner long ago. Even Adi Shankaracharya doesn't claim to be the founder of Advaita. He says Veda Vyasa had said it. He says, my Parama Guru, Gaudapada said it. My Guru, Govindapada said it. And therefore, countless teachers before me have very beautifully placed before us, the present generation, beautiful Siddhanta of Advaita. Therefore, while he begins his commentary on Taittiriya Upanishad, he writes a couple of slokas, which are Mangala Sloka or Dhyana Sloka. One of them is how I began today's presentation. Yairime Gurubhit Purvam Tadavakya Pramanataha Vyakyata Sarva Vedantaha Tan Nityam Pranatosmeham. I daily bow down before those teachers who very logically, drawing from Prasthanatraya, that is, drawing from Gita, drawing from Upanishad, drawing from Brahma Sutras, drawing from scriptural authority, Vedic authority, that is Shruti, drawing from Smriti, that is Gita, and drawing from Nyaya, which is the hallmark of Brahma Sutras, Pada Vakya Pramanataha, my gurus in centuries or in thousands of years before me, Vedantaha Vaihi Vakyata. They presented the Upanishads before, they commented on the Upanishads, and here I am to give my comments on this Taittiriya Upanishad. Very humbly, he says, this has been said by numerous teachers before. So in the Vedanta, long ago, from time immemorial, the duality of this entire universe was questioned and actually negated. So we see duality between others and us. We see duality between hill and river, or we see duality between sea. That's a big hill, and here is a small hill. That's a mountain, and this is just a little hillock. We see differences between two colors and between two sounds, between far and near, between past and future. Oh, we see duality in ourselves also. Sometimes you and I say, there was a time when I was so fit and fine. There was a time when my Vedanta study used to give me so much joy. Nowadays, it's not happening and I get sleep. So I was good, now I am bad. Or I was bad, now I am good. I was young, now I am old. I was wealthy, now I am poor. So there are two eyes. The rich eye, the poor eye. Big hill, the small hill. The long river and the short river. So everywhere there are duality. Alas, that is the illusion which is primary in human thinking, or to use a better word, is a perceptual error. Perception. What lies 10 feet away from you is a mere rope, but because of dim light, you perceive it to be a snake. Perception problem. Darshana. Advaita Vedanta is also, like other darshanas, a darshana. It is a way of seeing. We claim that Advaita Vedanta is the highest, the truest, most real seeing. So, in right seeing, duality vanishes. You see a rainbow, it's beautiful. Even a good Advaita Vedantin, a good physicist, someone who knows the physics of the science of the optics of the rainbow in and out, knows all the maths of it, also enjoys the sight of a rainbow, may even sing a song on the rainbow. Nothing prevents a person who knows it's an optic illusion from enjoying the rainbow. Likewise, please note, your deep study of Advaita Vedanta will not prevent you from enjoying a Mysore Pak or enjoying a hot cup of coffee, enjoying a piece of great Carnatic music. Okay. It doesn't. Advaita Vedanta, which calls this universe a mere appearance, does not take away even an iota of enjoyment in this created universe. But there is a deeper insight into what actually this created universe is. Like you go to a movie, you know very much it's a movie, but you enjoy every minute of that good movie and you want plan to go a second. Like that, never make the mistake of imagining Advaita Vedanta may make us dry, may make us lose the sense of aesthetics, may make us no more enjoy coffee or tea. Oh no, don't mix up things. Now coming back, serious topic. How is this seer and seen, or that division, how would it go at all? Well, that is the best part of it. It's not only between the rope, which is 10 feet away, and the misapprehended snake, which is also 10 feet away. It's not only between those two that you discard the false and hold the truth, but it is even with regard to yourself. You take yourself, you mistake yourself to be this personality. Personality is not just for physical personality. It's not just how tall I am, how well built I am, what color of skin I have. No, personality is physical, mental, energy level, pranamaya atma, annamaya atma, pranamaya atma, manomaya atma, vijnanamaya atma, anandamaya atma. So there are these 5 sheets, they call it. In Prakarana Granthas, it becomes Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, etc. Call it Atma, as the Taittiriya Upanishad says, or call it Kosha, as Viveka Chudamani or Atma Buddha, etc. say. Doesn't matter. Our perception of who we are could be at the level of the personality with many layers. And when we don't know beyond them, we don't know beyond those 5 layers, then we are in for our self-worth sinking at times and our self-worth soaring at other times. But through viveka, through this discrimination, what is true here, what is false here? The snake is false, the rope is true in that example. See, rarely don't stretch the example, rarely there could be a real snake. Don't say everywhere, wherever you see a snake, it must be a rope. No. Right now, because of heavy rains in the ashram where I live, near Mumbai, many snakes are coming out. You go towards your room, you see a snake on your way. Go to dining hall for breakfast, you see a snake on the way. Not every now and then, but several times. Because the rains have disturbed their place of stay, they come out, they follow the snake psychology. So once in a while it could be real snake. And don't go for that question or objection. Some people say, well, in order to see a snake upon a rope, you should have seen a real snake somewhere. Therefore, to say this universe is an appearance, there must be a real universe which is making you see this apparent universe. This is all stretching the example. The example is used to convey a possibility, and if you seriously engage with the matter, then without such examples, which do have limitations. We don't say examples have limitations, but they convey a point where there is something but you see it differently. That's all it wants to convey. Don't hold on to the snake, don't hold on to a rope. There is something, but you see something else. Therefore, in his Brahma Sutra Bhashya, right in the introduction, which is called Adhyasa Bhashya, which is a classic piece of its own right, Adi Shankara does not use any rope or snake or a stump of a tree looking like a man or a certain seashell which shines brightly being mistaken as silver and so on. There are so many examples. Shankaracharya, Bhagavan Bhashyakara puts aside all illustrations and he says, you know what is the basic error? What is that error due to which this Jiva Bhava, sense of individuality, sense of being limited, sense of being subject to birth and death, sense of being subject to praise and insult, the sense of being subject to so many woes of human life. You know what is that basic error which has made all this possible? Using wonderful, simple Sanskritam, he says, Atasmin tad buddhihi adhyasa. Adhyasa is the Sanskrit word for that fundamental error. He doesn't use seeing snake in a rope. That is all examples with some limitation, but they do their job and they go back. Like actors come up the stage, they do their job. An actor comes and plays the role of a very heroic, Immadi Pulikeshi or some hero, Shivaji, Veerapandya Kattabamman. There was a king, heroic king in Tamil Nadu. In every state, Andhra, Kerala, Telangana, North India, all over the world, there have been heroes. So an actor goes up the stage and plays the role of a great hero. Abroad also, in Chicago, the most well-known airport is O'Hare. O''H''A''R'. O'Hare Airport. A huge number of aeroplanes every day land and take off all over the world. O'Hare Airport. So one day I asked somebody, why is this called O'Hare? Then I came to know. O'Hare, some John O'Hare or something. O'Hare was the name of a certain pilot who in World War II or one of those big wars fought so bravely, risking his life, and I guess he died also finally after achieving a lot. He was a great pilot. O'Hare. So we have Pulikeshi, we have Krishna Devaraya, we have Veerapandya Kattabomman, Rani Chennamma or Jhansi Lakshmibai. They have all these. So concluding that illustration, somebody comes and plays the role of Rani Lakshmibai, lady plays Rani Lakshmibai. Wonderful. Later on, don't say, sorry to say this, but that lady who acted as Rani Lakshmibai, I know her very closely, that actor. He is so cowardly. He doesn't have that heroism at all. Shiva, he acted well or not. He played the role of Rani Lakshmibai, or in Karnataka we have Kitturu Rani Chennamma, or Rani Abbakka in Udupi, Mangalore side, and Abbakka Rani. Queen Abbakka gave such a hard time to the Portuguese. He destroyed several of their ships as they tried to attack the kingdom Mangalore at night. They didn't know that Rani Abbakka was very ready, even at night 1 a.m., 2 a.m. As they came closer to the port of what today we have Bangalore, Rani Abbakka's forces went fought and many died, they ran away. So this actor, she may not be heroic, but once she comes on the stage, she plays the role of Rani Abbakka or Rani Lakshmibai, Rani Namma. So well, job is done. Like that, this rope and snake, etc. are not to be stretched too much. Atasmin tad buddhi adhyasa. With a little science and maths background, I was myself so happy to see the technically precise definition by Sri Shankaracharya. Tat means that. Tasmin means in that. Atasmin means in what is not that. And tad buddhi means the notion of it being that. Now let me put it summarily, let's not drag it too far. To see that in what is not that. No illustration, no example. To see that in what is not that. If that sounds as very confusing, then we say to see an apple in what is not an apple. In an orange you see apple. That's an error. To see a snake in what is not a snake. Actually it's a rope, what you see is. To see silver in what is not silver. To see a man in what is not a man. Actually it's just a stump of a tree. Like that, in millions of scenarios outside and now in the Vedanta of greater importance is in yourself. To see yourself as a personality while you actually are not the personality. You have not inquired into who am I. Maharshi Ramana therefore hammers on the need to question your present identity. Okay. So first means Tadbuddhi. Now you may say, let's go back to this consciousness. Yes. Consciousness upon being inquired into, what is it in me that knows? When I say I know an apple, when I say I know that tree, fine, at a transactional level it is fine, but is that tree really different from me and I really different from the tree? That may sound like a useless, meaningless question. People who are into this world's affairs, you ask them this question. When you see a tree, are you different from the tree? Is the tree different from you? They may say, I have better things to do. Sorry, I'll see you later. They walk away. But not so with you when you have studied Vedanta. As you examine the practicality of it, you will see it's not a mere philosophical indulgence. It's not for entertainment. It's not for manoranjanam. This is a serious matter. There is a certain perception made worse by gushing of memories in your mind. When you see a tree, before you can catch hold of a fundamental question, whether you are different from the tree or tree is different from you, which Vedanta would like you to ask, so many memories come. In my childhood, when I was growing up in Dharwad, there were similar trees. Now that compound, my grandfather's compound, doesn't have a single tree. Who asked you? The memories rise. You see somebody, you visit, let us say, London, you see another Indian in the mall, shopping complex. Hey, wait, doesn't it look like Shanti, my cousin, who never came to England, but look at that lady? You see, memories. So without going long on it, you know what? You and I are pure consciousness, and this mind itself is an appearance. Within the field of this mind, which is an appearance, due to the gushing memories, gushing biases, gushing prejudices, gushing in what you call conclusions. See somebody from a distance, you say, I think she is from Andhra. That face cut is like that. Then you discover she is not. She may be from, Gujarat. But this mind is so restless. I'm sure she is a Telugu speaker. So this has gone haywire. Therefore, in Vedanta we say, for heaven's sake, do some upasana, don't miss your japa. Olden days people used to do Sandhya Vandana. Morning 108 times, in the evening, and some even during the middle of the day, Utala Sandhya. Today, lot of so-called Brahmins also don't even know Gayatri Mantra. So leave Gayatri Mantra aside for the present. Do something on a daily basis to calm your mind. Ramana Maharshi has said very seriously at a certain place. I myself discovered that sentence recently. Otherwise, I have read a lot of Ramana. But recently, I came across a statement by him, which is in a way not new to me, but from him, coming from him, was he says, the ability to stay with a chosen thought, the ability to stay with a chosen investigation, the ability for your mind to stay with a particular contemplation for a good length of time is one of the most precious assets in human life. The words are slightly different as I'm quoting him. Came once, I ignored it. Came second time, I ignored it. Third time, I said, oh my God, 999 out of 1000 good Vedantins suffer from this problem. They know the Shastra, they know how to inquire, they know how to contemplate, they know what mantras, what shlokas, what portions of Sri Shankarachary's Bhashya can lift them to great heights of beautiful contemplation. But the problem with 999 out of 1000, I'm saying good Vedantins also is, they begin, but then the mind goes to, oh, I look into it later. I need to check whether some bank work, the deadline has come. Some mundane thing. So Ramakrishna, Ramana, so many masters have said, please develop ekagrata. As I already said, what Ramana said is actually not new. I knew it, but it made an impact on me recently. In Taittiriya Upanishad, the father of the seeker Bhrigu, the father's name was Varuna, says to Bhrigu, Tapasa Brahma Vijijnasasya. Seek to know Brahman, do tapas. And Adi Shankaracharya, not out of his own, but quoting from Mahabharata and other sources, says, tapas here means the ability to stay on course. Tapas here means stay with your inquiry. Don't leave halfway. Don't take a break. Save your energy. Economize your mental energy. Manasascha indriyanamcha aikagram paramam tapaha. Aikagram paramam tapaha is the quote he draws from Mahabharata. Ekagram is no other than what you and I know normally as ekagrata. And what is ekagrata? Take a spiritual thought and find out how long you can stay with it. Don't give any excuse. You sleep normally at 11, let us say. 10:55, you got a beautiful spiritual thought. Don't give silly, it's time for me to sleep now. I will continue tomorrow. And that tomorrow, that enthusiasm may not. Sit on your bed vertically and follow that thought. Especially when a certain inspiring, intuitive thought rises from within yourself. Of course, it is all because of sanskaras, because of some study, some shravana you had done long back. But this evening, this late evening, before you are hitting the bed, from nowhere, it seems to have come from nowhere. Yeah, grab it, and stay vertically on your bed. and go with that thought, go along. So coming back to this duality, the seen and the seer. Please don't think I have gone away from the topic. This witnessing consciousness does not remain other than the witnessed. It takes into itself what is witnessed, and of course the witnessing consciousness, all of them are rediscovered by the intelligence in you. You have certain very precious intelligence deep inside you. Sometimes they define intelligence as the ability to observe without bias. The moment you observe somebody, some place, some work, some poem, some literature, some piece of art, whatever it is, the moment you observe it, already some pre-concluded notion. You already have a bias. So your intelligence has gone for a six. It has gone out of the window. Observe whether it's a piece of art or three or four girls have sung some stuti. Listen to it with only functional knowledge, not your personal bias. There is intelligence. So observe this duality. Now quickly I will mention, as I had promised, a little bit recently I picked up from something I was reading in quantum physics. A gentleman from South India, settled in California, Ashok Narasimhan, has brought out a terrific book, Your Quantum Self. Your Quantum Self. You hear about quantum physics and quantum mechanics and quantum computers and quantum. Deepak Chopra coined the word quantum healing. And now Ashok Narasimhan talks about quantum self. Rama Rama. I know my Vedanta talks about my pure self, Atma, but where is quantum coming or where is the self getting into quantum? Well, I want you to elaborate on that. Let me tell you, half the book is quantum physics, half the book is Vedanta. By Vedanta, it includes Kashmir Saivism in the book. So, very logically, very neatly, in recent years, I guess that is one of the best books I have read. I'm still reading it, one and a half. The other way, lent my hard copy to somebody in Bangalore. Now, 2 days back, I bought a Kindle version, again continuing with reading it. What does Ashok Narasimhan say? He talks about a certain intriguing experiment, intriguing theory in quantum physics. It's called the non-locality of quantum physics, quantum non-locality. Locality means, you are in Jayanagar in Bangalore. That is locality. Somebody, I am in T Nagar in Chennai. And somebody else says, I am in Panjagutta in Hyderabad. The one is in Panjagutta, Hyderabad, somebody is Jayanagar of Bangalore, somebody is Nagar of. This is locality. If it rains heavily in Jayanagar, the person in Panjagutta, Hyderabad will not be affected unless it rains there also. So what is non-locality of quantum physics? So in certain experiments, I am yet to discover all the finer details of it, but I will share with you what is essentially said over there. There are two particles which probably at one time were together and then they were separated. But though they are separated by vast distances, light years away. As you know, light year, though it has the word year, it is a unit of distance, not time. Otherwise, year is 365 days. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Do you mind if I change the device instead of laptop? In 30 seconds I'll go to my iPhone, which is a better instrument. I will, sure, sure. I will now go to, uh, yeah, I will mute this one because two voices should not come. Mute this and I will go to, sorry, as it shows up over there, connect on this laptop. Sorry, waiting my Recording in progress. Are you able to both hear and see me? Oh, I think mic off. Oh, the organizer, please enable my microphone on another device also. If you are able to, or not able to, both. Yeah. I have joined on my iPhone, organizer or the computer expert may see me. I have joined, but I'm unable to enable either my mic or my camera. Can you enable it? So the webmaster or whatever you call the person has to just enable. Oh, yeah, yeah, even yeah, even. Am I? Ah, oh, am I enabled? Am I enabled? I want my microphone and camera of the iPhone on which I have joined to be enabled. Let me call. Let me call source. Yeah, this I have joined through the iPhone, but its camera and microphone are disabled. They need to be enabled. Are you able to see that I have joined through iPhone also? Yeah, yeah. See, through in the laptop, some problem has come. Therefore, I joined through the iPhone. A lady intervened and said, "We are not able to hear you." So I have joined. What is the username? Username might be. Let me see. It might be showing iPhone, and it may be showing my iPhone number 84009 something. Yes, I'm trying to say that. Uh, I'm wondering how it is looking there. My number is 84009 ending in 0006. Does the number show up there? Oh, then I'll get back to that. Huh? Okay. No problem. We'll see. I'm also troubled if I come to know it's not heard properly. I'm also much troubled. Okay, so I'll continue. So the entangled particles are a very perplexing scenario, and there are a couple of interpretations of the whole matter. So two particles which are called um, entangled particles, they are several light years apart. Light year is a not unit of time as a year or month or days. Light year is that distance covered in a whole year by light. Light travels at very high speed. So light year is an unbelievably large amount of distance. So two particles separated by some very vast distance are seen to have a certain relationship. To measure the one parameter like spin or some other parameter of one particle affects the other particle, which is millions and millions of miles away. So this is called entangled particles, and therefore they wonder whether these are really at distant locations, or for them, as regards those two particles, location doesn't matter. Therefore the word non-locality. Somebody in Jayanagar, Bangalore sneezes, and instantly that other guy in T Nagar, Chennai also sneezes. And next is the person in T Nagar is okay now, breathes without any difficulty. And here the guy in Jayanagar also is breathing, now I am clear of all irritation or sneezing. How come? They are so apart. Entangled particles. Now, the author of this book, Quantum Self, your quantum self, you are actually an inexplicable, wondrous reality, he seems to suggest, bringing Vedanta, bringing Kashmir Shaivism, where Shiva, Shakti and Spanda are talked about by him. In Advaita Vedanta, we have Chaitanya. Sakshi Chaitanya is our topic in this session. We have Chaitanya, then we have Jada, and then some relationship between them. So, now taking it to a greater height, it is said that, wait a minute, just as in the last century, Einstein made a whole lot of us to less or more extent appreciate that though we perceive time as unquestionably true, time is passing, time is flowing, time is moving, and there is no question of time itself slowing down or time itself speeding up. That's how we thought all along, right? In time, a bird may slow down or a bird that is flying may speed up. Bird may go slow for a while, then go fast. That is in time. But what did Einstein mean? Time slows down. You are wearing a wristwatch, and if you are traveling at some very high speed, then that wristwatch slows down. You come back to the spot where you started, your wristwatch has gone only 1 hour, whereas somebody who remained at that spot where you started, his wristwatch has gone by 3 days ahead. These are some things which are very logically explained by Einstein. That was relativity of time and the curved nature of space. That likewise now the issue of perception comes. Why does issue of perception come here? In your perception, these two entangled particles are far apart. That's your perception problem. The rope looks like a snake, that's your perception problem. It's not a snake, it is a rope. Right? Likewise, these two and space itself is seemingly wide apart, those 2 points, but they are not wide apart, and a punchline which is like a bombshell, Advaitic bombshell, is these two particles are actually one only. Advaita becomes Advaita there. There is more exploration being done, but some of the scientists, some of the authors have gone very deep into this. What appear to be two wide apart by many light years actually are not two, they are one. It's your limitation of the equipment, limitation of your thinking, limitation of your instruments. Several decades ago, if not a century ago, in science, it was being more and more recognized that in an experiment, until you include the observer in the experiment, what you observe is not the ultimate truth. Simplest example is you are going on a train which is moving at 40 miles per hour, and if you forget that you are on a moving train, you will take the scene outside. Trees are moving, hills are moving. You think that hills are moving, the trees are moving, what's happening? Then you realize, I, who is observing, is on a moving train. That's a very simple example. But in advanced experiments of physics and quantum physics and all that, the observer's position, the observer's condition is very important. Likewise, friends, with saying this, I'll pause. There may be some questions also. In Advaita Vedanta, in addition to investigating the nature of the universe where we find ourselves, there is an intense investigation into ourselves. Who is experiencing joy or sorrow, fear or pride? And when both these are considered, a lot of things change. It's not about giving lectures or writing an article. That is a sideshow. A serious investigator of Vedanta, of the Upanishadic wisdom, discovers a lot of things changing more than outside, inside him. What he thought about himself at one time is very different from what he now feels about himself. What attracted him before, gold or woman or power or position or pleasure or something, do not attract him now. He's shocked. What happened to me? Because you changed. You change, your world changes. Therefore, this witnessing consciousness, I must humbly say, I'm myself yet to discover more finer details of this, but certainly the duality between the seen, like the distant entangled particle, and the seer, the entangled particle here on the ground, that distance, that division, that separation slowly is found to be a perceptual problem. Perception changes, Dvaita vanishes, Advaita becomes an intimate experience. Let me pause here. Om Namah Shivaya. Fundamental error. He doesn't use seeing snake in a rope. That is all examples with some limitation, but they do their job and they go back. Like actors come up the stage, they do their job. An actor comes and plays the role of a very heroic,